Good morning, my darlings. Welcome to a new vlog and happy Halloween if you're watching this vlog on the day that it goes live. If you are, then that's so perfect because this is gonna be the spookiest vlog that I have ever shared here on the channel. We have got something really different that we're doing tomorrow evening, which I can't wait to bring you along for. And I'm also going to be kind of polishing off the pumpkins that we've got here in the house. As October turns to November, I cannot believe that when you're watching this, it is November tomorrow. I just can't believe it. And 1st of November, the pumpkins are out. I'm not quite ready to do the Christmas decorating just yet, but it won't be long. But for me, pumpkins are an October thing. I'll continue eating them for the first couple of weeks of November, but decoration-wise, today is the last day. So I've got my pumpkin candles lit and kitchen smells so good. This is the Anthropology candle and my goodness, it's quite strong. It's a little bit sickly. Charlie doesn't love it, but I do, especially if I'm going to be doing some cozy autumnal baking. And that is the plan this morning. I'm going to use one of my pumpkins, the one that I'm about to take out of the agar, to make pumpkin spiced cookies. I can't wait. They last about a week, so longer than like a pumpkin banana bread or anything like that. And on actual Halloween, because obviously I'm a few days ahead right now, we have got Scarlett coming over and I'm going to make a pumpkin risotto. And then we're going to have cookies and my cinnamon ice cream for pudding in the evening. That's going to be a really, really fun weekend. I can't wait. But if you guys also have some pumpkins left over that you want to eat, now that the kind of time to fill your house with them for decor is coming to an end, then we have got some incredible pumpkin recipes over on the blog. So whether it's pumpkin risotto, spiced pumpkin soup, I don't think it's on the blog, but I'll leave a YouTube short down below with my what did I call it? Pumpkin pasta alla vodka. That was such an amazing recipe. It's such a versatile ingredient. And the great thing about it is you can have pumpkins in your house for like 3 or 4 weeks and they're still perfect to eat after Halloween. So I absolutely love them. I'm actually getting too warm stood here. I've got this little book here, which we found in not a charity shop, but a secondhand bookstore the other day. And for the Halloween vlog, I wanted to read you this passage. So this is a book all about Warwickshire, which is the county that our house kind of borders. This book was given as a gift to someone. It says, "To grandfather, happy birthday, much love, John," in 1967. That's when this book was given as a gift. I wonder if we can see when the book was published. Wow, 1936. This book is nearly 100 years old and it's called The King's England. And I believe that there's a book on most counties here in England. But the funny thing is, there is actually a section about our house, this house that we're in right now. Sometimes I spook myself out a little bit when I think too much about the history of this house, because we live in a rectory, which is a really important historical kind of part of village life. Obviously, most villages here in England have got churches, many of them hundreds and hundreds of years old. And the rectory would be where the priest would live. And so often rectories have got a lot of history, but so there's an entire chapter here about our village, and it's so fascinating to learn about the historical important things that happened in our village. So village name, our village has old stone cottages with thatched roofs and an earthwork from the long ago. Our village has a 14th century church, which the people like to think of as a small cathedral. Its splendid tower with an embattled parapet and pinnacles rises 120 feet, one of the finest in Shakespeare's county. How cool is that? One of the oldest relics in this ancient place is a stone figure brought indoors from a churchyard tomb. The winds and rains of centuries have worn it away and it has lost all recognition, but at its feet is still the figure of an animal they set there, perhaps 5 centuries ago. And then there's some more information about the church, but I'm going to skip forward to the section about this house. So back to the church. The chancel is paved with 17th century tombstones, some over the graves of a family from which came the first Roman Catholic bishop in England after the Reformation. So remember that, the first Roman Catholic bishop in England after the Reformation, he was William Bishop, who was born at the house now on the farm next to the Roman Catholic chapel. And we know that that is this house. So I can't believe we've discovered this. The first Roman Catholic bishop in England after the Reformation was born in this house. How cool is that? The house is interesting for its ingenious hiding place in the attic floors. It must have been well used, for the house of the bishops was constantly raided. In the chapel are 16th and 17th century vestments given by the Sheldons of tapestry weaving fame. Here lived Edward Sheldon, and it is recorded that as late as 1834 a man was hanged for setting fire to 13 of his hayricks. My goodness, just so much history. I'd love to be able to transport myself back to this very house 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 500 years ago. It's just so incredible. A little bit spooky at times, but really, really interesting to think about. Anyway, I've got the kitchen to myself, probably only for about an hour longer while Charlie's finishing off at the gym. So let's get cracking with my spiced pumpkin cookies. Okay, so we're starting off with 300 grams of plain flour. I'm adding in a teaspoon of baking powder. Sorry, that was baking soda, and now a teaspoon of baking powder. 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and a pinch of salt. I'm going to use my Thermomix to create some pumpkin puree from the flesh of my roasted pumpkins. These were in the oven for 40 minutes and now they've cooled down so that I can scoop out the pumpkin flesh. Okay, so in my mixer I have beaten together the butter and the sugar. I'll leave the exact ingredients and quantities in the description box down below. It looks like this. I just beat that together for 2 minutes. Now I'm going to add in a large room temperature egg and a dash of organic vanilla extract. And then I'm going to pop this back on to mix just very carefully and slowly for about a minute until everything has combined. Okay, that's mixed. I'm just getting everything away from the sides of the blender. And now I'm adding in my pumpkin puree and slowly mixing again for about 30 seconds. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is add in my dry ingredients. I'm going to leave this mixing on a really slow speed and I'm just going to add in, spoonful at a time, my dry ingredients. Okay, I'm just going to use my spatula to do one more little blend, make sure everything in the middle is incorporated. I just did a taste test and decided to add in a tiny bit more of the pumpkin spice and vanilla extract. This consistency is perfect. One final blend. Now at this stage, when everything is beautifully blended, you could add in, if you want to, it's not essential, you could add in some toasted pecans. I'm going to add in some dark chocolate chips. Mix those in for one final time. And here is our gorgeous cookie batter. I'm just going to do a final manual blend with my spatula. And now this is going to go in the fridge for 30 minutes so that the mixture can cool, and then they're ready to bake. One of my favorite bits is definitely testing the cookie batter at this stage. Also, Dickens has been watching me so expectantly this whole time. I feel like I need to look at some puppy cookie recipes online. If anyone's tried making cookies for their pets, please let me know because I think I need to try it. Okay, while that's in the fridge, I have cleaned up the seeds that were inside the pumpkin. If you're carving pumpkins this evening for Halloween, make sure you save the seeds because they are so tasty. I love to roast mine, so I've given them a little rinse, and that's the faffy bit really, is just kind of plucking out the pumpkin flesh. It's not going to harm, but they tend to roast up better if you do get rid of the flesh. Now, to make them crispy, I'm adding some olive oil and a good smattering of salt and a teaspoon of whatever spice you like. I actually really love doing curry sauce on pumpkin seeds, which I know sounds really random, but trust me, it's so delicious. But for today, I'm going to do paprika. These are such a tasty and also really healthy snack. So yeah, definitely don't let your pumpkin seeds go to waste if you're carving pumpkins tonight or cooking with them like I am. Now, I can't tell you how often I've burnt these. They do cook really quickly. So I'm going to pop them in at 180 and I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. Okay, it's 30 minutes later. My mixture has got a really good texture. Now I'm going to start making some balls. Use your hands. If your hands are slightly damp, then you can make more perfect looking cookies. I'm not too bothered about that, so I'm just going to lightly shape them in my hands, about a little bit bigger than a golf ball, and place these on a tray covered in baking paper. You'll probably have to do a couple of trays like I'm doing so that they don't all blend into each other. 180 degrees for about 10 minutes. Guys, I can't believe it. I literally just said to you, don't let them burn because they cook so quickly. My 5-minute timer went off and I was like, oh, I'll just give it a few more seconds. 10 minutes later, I check on them and they're burnt to a crisp. Such a waste of time and a lost opportunity for a tasty snack. So take it from me, they burn really easily. Don't make the same mistake that I did. What a plonker. I'm so annoyed at myself. Okay, my darlings, I've brought you up to our bedroom. By the way, this was heatless curls, not even overnight. When I woke up this morning, my hair was just flat and I thought it was not gonna hurt to pop my silk sausage in. So I misted my hair with the tiniest little bit of water and then had it up in a silk sausage for maybe an hour. And it's not like perfect curls, but it's a nice bit of volume and movement. Better than flat hair. Anyway, while the cookies are in the oven, I wanted to show you a little spooky thing in our house. And if you've been watching the vlogs religiously for a while, you might already know this fact. So I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but I know that lots of you are new. And we often get asked about the history of the house and if there's anything kind of spooky in here. Luckily for us, touch wood, touch kindling. Luckily for us, there are no spooky vibes about this house. Yes, I sometimes hear funny noises. Yes, I did once see and capture on video the figure of a woman up in one of the bedrooms, but let's just gloss over that. Overall, the house has just got a really lovely, like, homely feel to it, and certainly no weird energy. And we've had some quite, like, holistic energy focused people here before, whether it's the lady that does my reflexology or other people with good energy readings, and everyone agrees the house has got an amazing energy. No bad juju. So this fireplace is really cool. Not only is it just amazing, it is so cozy to have a fire lit in here in the winter. While we watch TV, it's honestly just blissful. But there's also some really cool detail on this fireplace. I'll bring you in closer in a second. But basically, on this fireplace and others in this house, there are witch markings. And back in the medieval times, probably when this house was first built or in its early days, I wonder how many generations and how many families have lived here over the centuries. I guess if the average family lives here for like 50 years, could be like 20 or more families, maybe more, I don't know. I guess people didn't live as long back then. Anyway, when the house was first built, and especially when the chimneys were installed, they very much still believed in witches. This whole area has quite strong connections to witches. It's on a few meridians, I think it's called, and actually the day this video is going live, Halloween, a lot of modern day witches and do they call themselves pagans, I think? Spiritual people, they will go to a place really close to here, literally 5 minutes away, called the Rollright Stones at Long Compton. And our friends actually own a farm that backs onto that, and within their farm there is the Kingstone. It's kind of like the Cotswolds answer to, just realised I need to hurry up because of the cookies, it's kind of the Cotswold answer to Stonehenge, and it's a really spiritual place, and a lot of people go there on Halloween when they believe that the connection between the heaven and hell and the earth is at its thinnest, so we're closer to heaven and hell. They stomp on the ground and they do some interesting rituals. If I have time to go there on Halloween, the day this video goes live, I'll take some Instagram stories, so head over to my Instagram if you want to see this kind of pagan ritual in real life. Sorry, I'm gonna run downstairs and get the cookies out. To be continued. Okay, I'm back. They look and smell amazing. I'll pop the second batch in a second. Where was I? So Rollright Stones, they're in a circle. I've definitely vlogged that day before when they do the Halloween rituals. But anyway, so as well as that, lots of the villages around here have got the word witch in the title, like Witchwood, Witchford, Shipton under Witchford. Quite a lot of places have got like witchy names. By the way, if anyone is looking to move to this area, there is a village called Spelsbury. And I honestly think that would be the most amazing place to move to. It's not got the same kind of fame as some of the more recognisable villages around here, but it's so beautiful and it's in an amazing location. I digress. But yeah, so witchcraft and the belief in witches was quite synonymous with this area. So the people that lived in this house, the Bishop family and the generations before that, they did not want the witches coming into the house, and they believed that witches came in via chimneys. So what they would do is they would put anti-witch markings on the fireplaces to prevent the witches coming down them. Let me show you the markings. So let your eyes adjust a second. This one is probably the most obvious, but they're basically these circular patterns. This one goes round and round, and it's actually top there, bottom there. It's huge, covers the whole thing. That one's just a plain round and round, but then there's some, again, let your eyes adjust. It's as though they've had a protractor, you know, those things that you have in school that you put a pencil in one side, and it's all of these swirly markings. This one's quite obvious as well. So these marks here were the anti-witch markings, and they believed that this would keep them safe from the witches coming down the chimney. When we explored the pig a couple of weeks ago, or last weekend, we noticed a few of these markings on their fireplaces too. So it was definitely something that they did a lot of in these areas, and thankfully, clearly it works. We haven't had any witches coming down the chimney anytime recently. And I guess I don't really know if there's anything else really that spooky to show you. I think some people might find our whole house quite spooky, but I definitely don't think that it is. These beams are thought to be from old ships, and these would have been markings from their days as ships, which is quite interesting. So much old wood. If these walls could tell a tale, that would be very interesting. And then I'll just show you as well, something quite fun about this house is our really wonky corridors. So if you put some marbles in the corner there, they'll roll down, nothing is quite straight. In this room, which is obviously a lovely, when I turn the lights on, pink, feminine, friendly, good energy room. But up here, there are some old carvings, which the person that renovated this house decided to keep them on show. You can see the really old beam in there. We've never had a historian look at this. If anyone knows a historian, please feel free to send this to them. But yeah, there's old carvings like this in various places throughout the house, but interesting that they kept the panelling there open so that we could really see them. This panelling we think is probably the oldest panelling in the house. A little bit of an idea of what it used to look like. Again, you've got markings in the fireplaces here. They're a lot more subtle in this fireplace. You can see a few of the rings. And then I don't really think it's spooky, but just to add to the kind of old charm of the house, obviously having lots of antiques, things like this old, sort of in an old lantern, just, yeah, they do give it that certain feeling. I think objects like this definitely give somewhere energy. So filling the house with old things. We're just trying to keep it as authentic as possible, if that's the right kind of thing to say. And then finally, before we just do the last batch of cookies, I'm going to show you some really old photos of the house. So a room you maybe don't see that much, this is in our downstairs bathroom, and we have found a few old photos of the house which live here behind the loo. So we've got this one here. We're not 100% sure on the date, but I'm sure you'll be able to recognise the house from this photo. And the Victorian brick at the front, you can see they used to have a herbaceous border going straight out from the door, whereas we've taken it along that way instead of that way. An old family, maybe the Bishop family. And then here, when they used to host the village cricket tournaments here at the house, look at the ladies' hats. Very old-fashioned dresses. If anyone knows from the fashion what kind of era this might have been from, please let me know. And the same here, it says ladies v gentlemen. Really cool to think how many village activities could have happened in this house over the centuries. So first round of cookies, a great success. They're a little bit squidgy in the middle. Do you know what? I might actually flip them and put them back in just for a few minutes because they are a little bit softer than I was hoping underneath. But my gosh, what a perfect shape. Okay, just a quick little flower project while the final batch of cookies is in the oven. This is the time of year you want to get really nice dark coloured hydrangeas, add them into some water and let them dry out, and then you will literally have fresh/dried flowers in your home all throughout the colder months when there's nothing really to pick from outside. So I've got a few inches of water in here. It does help if you take the leaves off the hydrangeas as well, because then more of the energy goes into the actual flower. It looks a little bit bare just with the 3 hydrangeas, so I've just been and plucked some foliage from the garden, so I'm just adding that in. I might also add in some rosemary, which is a tiny bit darker, and it'll add another bit of depth to this little display. Anything that's below the waterline, you just want to make sure there's no leaves down there, because that can make the water go a bit yucky. And the darker the colour of hydrangea, the better they'll dry out. So these burgundy ones Charlie just picked up from Daylesford will be perfect, and they'll go really crispy and they'll literally last years, which is fabulous. But for now, just a little bit of greenery, and I'll pop them somewhere where they're not going to get too warm, so ideally not by the 𝑎𝒌 or by the fireplace. So I've popped the hydrangeas here next to the sofa and they look lovely. And then once they're dry, you can put them anywhere. So these ones here, we had them drying out from a couple of weeks ago, and if you listen, you can hear that they're now completely crispy and basically preserved. This colour, they're called an antique hydrangea. They also dry out really, really nicely. And I like the fact that you get the contrast colour in the leaves, the green and the burgundy. So now that they're dry, they can live by the fire. You can see here that being close to the fire has changed the colour on some of the leaves, whereas this side they're a lot fresher. But there we go. Look at this perfect shape. Oh my goodness. This was my final batch. They have risen so incredibly well. You can see some of them have got the chocolate chips at the top. I could have sprinkled chocolate chips on them, but I'm actually going to do a little bit of icing. So I'll leave this final batch to cool down while I mix together my little bit of pumpkin maple icing that's going to go on top. Icing, I mixed a little bit of melted butter with some golden icing. I think it looks a little bit nicer than a crisp white icing. It's got a little bit of creaminess to it, a little bit of vanilla extract and some milk to get the right consistency. You can obviously do whatever you want on the top. I'm not very artistic, as you can tell, so it's just all about that delicious flavour. And now it's time for the taste test. So I used up just all the spare icing on this one. It's very messy, so this is the one that I'm going to sample. Oh my gosh, they are so perfectly chewy and they actually taste of pumpkin. I am so impressed with these. They are delicious. darlings, I've just whipped up a delicious bowl of my chicken broth, tomato and chili pasta. So good, it takes like 10 minutes to make and it's actually so full of goodness. I'm going to enjoy this, but darlings, I'm going to actually leave you here and pick up again in London for our very exciting couple of days there and spot the continuity error, in inverted commas. If you can spot the obvious continuity glitch, then let me know down below. But for now, I'm going to tuck into this. Yum, yum, yum. Well, hello my darlings. We are having a little bit of a pamper afternoon. I'm with Lala, who wanted to put her glasses on to look even more fabulous for you. Gorgeous.
Of course.
Beautiful. Of course. We're heading to a salon just outside Morton, so naturally grabbed the Linwood oat milk latte. It's called Mode and they are offering hair treatments and other pampering activities from a lovely brand called Kerasilk. And I'm not sure what treatment they're going to recommend, but they're all about the long-term health of your hair, building up the strength of the strands. We're going to learn a lot more about it and hopefully have some lovely pampering, and the fact that it's so local is a dream. So my hair is currently up in a bun, not doing anything exciting, and shortly we should hopefully see quite the transformation. So let's go. Seeing this, my hair before, a little bit flat, a little bit in need of some love, but let's see what magic we can work. So the salon's only been here? Yes, just over here, so end of November. Yes. Oh gosh. That's good. Good day. A little celebratory. Okay, blow dry is complete. Martin has added some beautiful curls in. We only used one product before blow drying, which was this one, the Kerasilk Airy Powerful Flawless Volumizing Spray, and this has just given that really nice little bit of root volume, nothing too dramatic, nice and natural, and will also provide a little bit of hold for the curls, tiny bit of oil in the ends at the bottom to really nourish the hair. I'm going to see if Martin's got a few moments to talk through a few of the other tips that he was sharing with me throughout the treatment. Look at that for a transformation. Fresh, light, blow-dried hair. Martin has created the loveliest curls using the barrel brush and also straighteners. I haven't curled my hair with straighteners in absolutely ages. I'm going to see if Martin's got a couple of minutes to quickly talk through some of the products that we used, because everything felt so lovely. And look around at this beautiful salon. It's actually super close to us as well, so I am 100% going to be coming back here for a few more hair treatments in the future. Such a beautiful place. Alrighty, hair transformation is complete. Oh, you're so tall!
I'll come down, I'll come down.
I always have this issue with Charlie as well. He has to reduce his height. We'll just have a little boogie.
Ta-da!
Okie dokie. So Fabulous Martin has created the most gorgeous, completely light and wonderful blow dry. Thank you very much. Do you want to let us know what we use?
Yeah, so today, obviously, when the consultation, we spoke about the obviously, you know, that you use bleach in your hair and colour and stuff, and you felt that you want us to keep the condition always in your hair so it doesn't compromise the colour. So we actually went in today with the repairing range from Kerasilk. So that obviously keeps it hydrated, it kind of makes it very strong, you know, it doesn't compromise anything, so you can keep having all the colour services that you want to. And then we went in with the recovery mask, which I love. It can sometimes be kind of heavy for some people, but with your kind of hair texture, I know that it wasn't going to be too heavy for you.
Well, do you know what? I feel like my hair can get so weighed down by things, but that doesn't feel like it's weighted down in the slightest, which is really good.
Even though it's quite rich, it also, you know, it's still kind of weightless for hair, especially when you want something that's kind of quite a big bouncy blow dry, some nice curls in it, and then last as long as possible. That's why I absolutely love these products, you know, because they are very results driven, hydrating, but do not weigh it down. And then obviously when we were styling, I knew that kind of you've used lots of products before. Things can be quite sticky, things can be quite heavy, so this is what I love about the 𝑘𝒉𝒂𝒕 volumizing spray, because 𝑘𝒉𝒂𝒕 have lots of other different types of volumizing styling products, but this one is definitely the best for getting the volume, the bounce, but also kind of making it feel very light, fluffy, and, you know, bouncy and effortless.
Does it have any hold, or do you need to apply a hold product afterwards?
It will have a slight hold to it as well. Obviously we did a big round brush blow dry as well, but you can use a little bit of spray with it as well, but it will definitely have a slight hold to it as well.
And did you put that all over, or just on the roots?
I actually like to put it in the roots, concentrate on the roots, and I do a very fine spritz through the rest of the hair, so when we are wrapping it up, then it will create that little bit of a hold.
Okay, and anything for like the ends, anything that could hydrate the ends if people have got a bit of dryness?
Yeah, so we also use one of the oils, the 𝑘𝒉𝒂𝒕 oil is absolutely gorgeous.
That felt really light as well.
It does,
yeah.
So light, it's like glass when you put it through the hair. It seals the ends.
And it's so soft and like shiny.
So soft, you know, isn't it beautiful?
Really beautiful. Thank you very much. And tell us about your salon. So you've been here nearly a year.
Yeah, nearly a year now.
Yeah. Are you going to have a birthday party?
I
think you should.
You think we should?
With all 8 dogs, and then I'll bring mine and it'll just be like a puppy party.
Absolutely. 8 dogs and 4 cats.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
So yeah, I'm glad you like the salon.
It's beautiful.
But like I say, yeah, we're kind of trying to create this destination salon in the Cotswolds, high-end luxury, for lots of services and facials and hair and colouring and podiatry and nails.
And nails. Lila, do you want to show your nails? We've got matching colour.
Yeah, can we show them your nails?
Lila got her nails done.
I got my nails done as well.
And a hand massage?
Yes.
Yeah, gorgeous. Matching colour. So you do it all here?
We do everything here. You'd
We'll
like
be
to
back,
have
as we
you.
said, definitely, yes. It's just such a nice ambiance.
It is.
And you can park.
We can park, yes. Which is
Free parking right outside.
a real luxury, absolutely. It's gorgeous. Well, thank you for coming out.
Oh, it is my pleasure, girls. It's my pleasure. It's lovely to see you.
Lovely couple hours.
Anytime. I'm glad you've enjoyed it.
So I just said to Martin, my hair often falls completely flat just a few minutes after I style it, and he's recommended this, which is the texturizing finishing spray. This gives it that little bit of grit that sometimes freshly washed hair really needs, and also some hold. So I've just done a little misting, but I'll show you how light it is. I feel like this is going to be one of those products that is in my daily hair routine. So it's a super fine mist, and you just kind of spray it while you're lifting up your hair so it can coat the ends of your hair. Really similar to how you'd use a hairspray, and you can see it just adds that little bit of grit, that little bit of texture, which hopefully will hold all day. These two, they've just been twittering away. New best friends going on over here.
Snow. God, look at that.
Okay, my darlings, back home again, and it feels like it's getting dark already now that the clocks have changed. It's just getting dark so early. My hair looks so great and so healthy. I'm going to switch out all of my products in my shower to 𝑘𝒉𝒂𝒕 after hearing the team there talking a little bit about the history and the science behind the brand. It was born from a salon, and they were the pioneers behind using silk proteins to really help to nourish and rebuild the hair strand by strand, and just provide the most nourishing shampoo and conditioning range, and now styling range of so many different products. They say that it's kind of like an unwritten quote amongst hairdressers that if nothing else works on your hair, 𝑘𝒉𝒂𝒕 will, because of the biotechnology within the brand. So it's been a really nice kind of full discovery day today. I keep looking at my hair in the viewfinder. It just looks and feels so healthy, bearing in mind how much colour is in my hair. So the team gave me and Lila a goodie bag, which is so sweet of them, and I thought I would just quickly run through a few of the products that are in here. So this will be such a good stocking filler. This is their Strengthen and Repair Hair from the Inside Out. So you've got a bond builder and a cuticle filler. Particularly amazing if you have got damaged hair, if your hair is coloured. This is a really good duo for that. Strengthening bond builder for healthy looking hair that is 20 times stronger with more elastic resilience and full of natural shine. I feel like I can see that from just one use of the product, so I can't wait to see what this is going to do in the long run. And a cuticle filler that really helps to work on the structure of the hair, and when you have got a smooth structure, it helps to add to the shine of your hair. So not only is it healthier from within the actual structure of the strands, but also it looks healthier as well. It looks shiny, it looks glossy, and it looks healthy. I showed you already in the salon the finishing spray, which I think is going to be my new favourite, even just for its holding properties. But if your hair is a little bit too neat and you just want to add that little bit of texture, mess it up a little bit on hair wash day, then this is the one. I'm going to leave all of these products linked down below in case you would like to check any of them out. So obviously in the salon, Martin, who I just adore, we had so many wonderful chats. He spoke through the products that we used in my, hair washing station today. But in my goodie bag, I've got the smoothing shampoo and conditioner. Love the packaging in this light pink. That looks absolutely gorgeous, and this is really good if your hair needs a little bit of help when it comes to the manageability. And by the way, the biometric silk within the range, it's actually not animal derived, so they have biotechnologically created the same structure as traditional silk, so the products can still be completely vegan, which is absolutely mind-blowing. Technology just wows me every time. And then I love the sound of this. This is their taming balm. So if you have flyaway hairs, or if you like to do a really beautiful slicked back bun, maybe it is hair wash day, or you just want a little something to pop in the ends of your hair without weighing it down, that's also going to nourish your hair, this is going to be the product for that. I'm gonna just use one pump of this now to show you. It's so silky and lightweight, and again, if you've just got any bits that need a little bit of smoothing out, but you want to maintain the curl, you want to maintain the style, then this is definitely not gonna weigh it down or ruin your style. It's just going to smooth anything out. Sometimes around my front here, I get a few little wispy bits on the parting. And it smells like an expensive perfume. These products smell absolutely amazing. So what a lovely afternoon. I just love these afternoons when Lila and I can do a little bit of pampering together, and she got her nails done, so she's really happy. At that salon you can actually get your nails done while you get your hair done, so I know I'm going to love visiting there again in the future. So thank you to the Kerasilk team for organising such a gorgeous afternoon. Can't wait until I next wash my hair to use these products myself. So yeah, I'll leave everything that I have chatted about linked down below. Hello my darlings, checking in with you from my hotel room. I decided very last minute last night to book myself a little staycation. Is it a staycation? I don't know. A little night stay in London, because I have got a late dinner event tonight and then a full day of meetings tomorrow. And do you know what? It actually didn't work out that much more expensive than doing 2 train journeys, because the prices of trains going from the Cotswolds into London has just gone a little bit bonkers, and this way I get a little bit more sleep as well. So booked myself into a place called the Capital Hotel. The location is amazing. We're in the heart of Knightsbridge, seconds away from Harrods, and I have got a lovely kind of treatment this afternoon at 5 o'clock, which is in a few hours. But before then I thought I would do a little bit of shopping. It's not often that I am in this area, so I thought I'd have a really good look around Harrods. I don't know if they've got their Christmas section in store yet, but I thought I would go and have a little mooch. I'm also quite peckish, and we're not sitting down for dinner at the event that I'm attending tonight until 8 o'clock. So I think I'm going to have a really nice late lunch now, somewhere, wherever I walk past it takes my fancy. Yeah, excited to bring you guys along. And then tomorrow we have got so many meetings in the diary. I've also got a lovely bit of pampering first thing in the morning, which I'll share with you. And then A very spooky evening indeed. Perfect, as this vlog is going up on Halloween. We are doing a Jack the Ripper tour around Whitechapel in London. It's something that I have been intrigued by for many, many years. It's a weird thing to be intrigued by, I know, but Charlie and I love watching documentaries and kind of the murder shows that are on BBC iPlayer around Whitechapel, and I thought it'd be really fun to do the official Jack the Ripper tour. I don't know if fun is the right word, but I imagine it's going to be quite spooky. I need to find a torch to take with me because I can't see very well in the dark, and I think it's going to be a very dark and eerie tour. But anyway, a couple of days in London, excited to bring you along. Now let's head to Harrods and find something for lunch. So this is the entrance to the hotel, and this is Harrods. So the location couldn't be any more perfect. I'm grabbing a quick matcha at 𝐸𝑙. It's so cute and pink in here. They also have a huge selection of lattes, specialty lattes, chai, matcha, rose, and Spanish lattes like a pistachio. I've made it up to the wellness clinic here in Harrods, and my goodness, it's such a beautiful big space. This is what we're here to celebrate, and this is also why I'm staying in London tonight for the dinner, to celebrate the Re-Nutriv collection from Estée Lauder, which is their super luxurious, very anti-aging collection. I've got a facial here, which I cannot wait for. What a beauty. I mean, look at the detail. This beautiful pillow, my goodness, the full collection over there. Looks like we're gonna have some facial massage, there's some tools in there. It's just absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to, oh, look at the dahlias. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna lay back and enjoy, and I'll fill you in on the magic of this treatment afterwards. Well, hello again, my darlings. It is a couple of hours later. I'm back on the silly camera because I'm having technical problems with my usual one, but you guys said you really liked this camera last time, so maybe I'll just have to suck it up and use this one. I'm so glad I bought a spare camera with me. Anyway, oh my goodness, that last hour of my life has been pure heaven. Crystal was my therapist, beauty facialist, and oh my gosh, she had hands down the best technique I have ever experienced. It was so relaxing. We were discovering the Re-Nutriv range from Estée Lauder. We're going to find out so much more about that in tonight's dinner. But she really massaged the vagus nerve. She got all of the lymphatic drainage points. The most gorgeous technique ever. Oh my goodness. And the products were heavenly. I totally zonked out. Definitely had quite a powerful nap. I'll have to check my ring to see my sleep score. And now a very quick turnaround. The reason I chose this hotel was so that I could do a quick turnaround ready for dinner. I've been exceptionally lazy, and I've just added, I've done my hair half up, half down like I was wearing it before. By the way, the mirror's not dirty, it's like an antique effect. I thought I'd sneezed on it earlier, but no, it is antique-y. Yeah, very lazy. I've just popped some curls in at the bottom, and yes, so hair is tied back a little bit, which is great. I've done a fresh face of makeup, which went on so nicely over the top of the lovely skincare products that Crystal applied during my treatment. This beautiful dress is a gorgeous one, and it is from 𝑚. It's got this beautiful black kind of lace overlay with the pleating. I love the bodice detail, it's absolutely stunning. And then I'm wearing my Prada velvety suede little bag, which I love because you can be hands-free with this. I've just realised I did not spray it with liquid proof. Charlie would be livid, but it's very, very cute indeed. I'll have to pray that I don't get anything spilt on it tonight and then spray it with liquid proof next time. So the dinner tonight is at the Orangery at Kensington Palace, is that right? Are we going to a palace? I don't know. Maybe? No, surely the gallery. I don't know. Serpentine? I don't know. Maybe we're going to the palace. I'm not sure. Either way, it's going to be a gorgeous evening. I can't wait. Estée Lauder events are always just very fabulous. So really looking forward to it. A quick mist of perfume. of course, Aerin. This is Amber Musk Santal, which is my go-to at the moment. It's so beautifully rich and woody with a bit of rose notes in there as well. Pairs really nicely with the traditional Amber Musk if you're a fan of that. I've got a sneaky feeling that actual Aerin Lauder could even be in attendance this evening, in which case I will majorly have a fangirl moment, so we'll see. Anyway, my darlings, I'd better get going. My taxi, I think, has just arrived, so let's go. Oh my goodness, it is at the palace. This is crazy. So this is the orangery of Kensington Palace. Let's head on in. Wow. My goodness, look at this incredible table. Wow, how amazing.
In 1956, and when you think about what she's accomplished and what she did at that time, it was the first luxury.
We're having a pie and mash in a palace. How fabulous. Good morning, my darlings. It is the next morning. Last night was absolutely magical. I felt really, really honoured to be invited. There were very few influencers there. It was more kind of friends of the brand. Aerin Lauder was there, oh my goodness. Even Princess Beatrice was there. Holy guacamole, what an incredible evening. I managed to catch up with lovely Willow Crosley, who had done the blooms for the event. She's so lovely and doesn't live too far away, fellow Cotswold gal. And it was just magical, incredible food, amazing company, and just a gorgeous evening. So thank you, Estee Lauder, for inviting me. Today, we've got a busy day, lots of back-to-back meetings, but first of all, bright and early, it's just gone 8 o'clock in the morning. I've got a lovely lady named Christine coming over to the hotel room, and she does biosculpture manicures. Obviously, this is the before. And she also does 𝑒lim pedicures, and I've seen 𝑒lim, E-L-I-M, on Instagram for these like crazy amazing pedicures, which I can't wait to experience. But I just messaged Christine to find out her coffee order, and I'm going to run down to Elan and get us both some caffeine to enjoy during the appointment. So let's get going. This early morning in Knightsbridge reminds me of my days working at Topshop. So if anyone remembers, there used to be a Topshop, oops, on this corner here, and I worked there for I think 3 or so years. Absolutely loved it. They didn't have an Elan cafe here when I worked then. Probably a good thing for my bank balance. Okay, nails are done. Such a beautiful manicure. Christine used the shade Thornberry, which is this lovely autumnal kind of berry. My first time having dark nails in absolutely ages. We're now in, I'm still going to use this camera, trotting through Central for our meetings for the day. Whoop. Next stop is Selfridges. Okay, we're having a quick matcha pit stop because I saw on M's story that they're doing a pumpkin spice matcha. Charlie is very impressed because they have got a La Marzocco coffee machine, but they don't serve coffee, they purely use it for milk frothing. How bougie. Let's give this matcha a try. So lunch meeting is at Brasserie of Light. They've got all these Halloween like bloody handprints on the mirrors. That's so funny. Outfit of the day. This camera's making me look very, very grey. I've got on my little knitted top, burgundy skirt, and the slouchy YSL bag in suede, which I love.
ingredients. So here we have some blackwood dumpling. This is 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, chicken and truffle, spicy promani bags, and shrimp and coriander.
So we have made it to Whitechapel. We are looking out for our tour. We're going to meet a ripperologist and find out all the locations where Jack the Ripper did the deeds.
So the story really starts on the 30th of August 1888, and it starts with our first victim, whose name was Mary Ann Nichols. Mary preferred being called Polly. Her nickname was Polly, so we're also going to call her Polly because she liked that. Before I get into the story of Polly, I'm going to tell you why I bring you here. Now, it is true that we've lost a lot of key evidence, documentation and things like that, but we do have certain pieces of history still with us to this very day. This building over here is one such very crucial piece of evidence. So today it's a noodle shop, but back in the day, this used to be a lodging house. The name of the lodging house was 𝑦𝒊𝒏𝒅 Frying Pan. In fact, if you look up to the little pointy top, you can see it says 𝑦𝒊𝒏𝒅 Frying Pan. They also have an illustration of two frying pans there. So lodging houses were basically a very cheap rental option for a lot of people. So with lodging houses, you didn't have to rent the place for a week, for a month, none of that. You could basically rent the place for a night, and you didn't even have to rent a room. For as little as 4 pence a night, you could hire a mattress for the night. You know, she was heard talking to her friends saying like, man, I can't believe I spent all my money on gin. It's okay, I'm just going to go out in Whitechapel, I'm going to find a couple of clients, I'm going to make some money, and everything will be all right. And with that intention, Polly left, and multiple witnesses did claim to see her wandering around Whitechapel trying to pick up clients. There was one eyewitness that saw Polly around 2:30 in the morning. She claimed she saw Polly with the suspect, and she described the suspect as a tall man, taller than Polly. He had a mustache, he looked affluent, and he was wearing dark affluent clothing. And again, it was such a common occurrence for women to be speaking to strange men at those hours. The eyewitness didn't even bother to eavesdrop or find out what happened. She saw them speaking, she's like, oh, good for Polly, and she continued minding her own business.
Did she know Polly?
Yeah. Most of these women knew each other.
Okay.
They lived here, they worked here. This was around 2:30 in the morning. Roughly an hour later, around 3:30 in the morning, Polly's body would be discovered by a coachman called Charles Cross. Charles Cross was just minding his own business, crossing the road, and he accidentally stumbles upon a body, and this would have been absolutely terrifying for him, because today you have street lights, you have billboards and all of these things. In 1888, 3:30 in the morning would have been dark as hell. It would have been pitch black. And imagine accidentally stumbling upon a dead woman at a time like that. So as soon as he finds a body, he obviously panics. He calls the police. Police turn up, they investigate. You would think at this point, maybe the people were upset. The general public would have been upset. Women are being murdered left and right. Unfortunately, that wasn't the sentiment. A lot of people just didn't care. Some of the people who did care, they cared in a way that, they cared like, good riddance, yes, kill them, clean the streets. That was a pretty relevant sentiment also. It's only after the second victim, it's only after Annie Chapman's murder that, the brutality would increase, and people's concern would also start to increase after that. But coming back to Polly, Polly's murder was quite sad. The autopsy report came back, and the autopsy report suggested that whoever murdered her first tried to knock her down, because she had multiple wounds to her face, indicating that someone either punched her or they used their thumbs to basically pressure her down. She had multiple wounds to her body. She had multiple stab wounds to her abdomen, and no missing organs yet. I am going to show you a picture of Polly. These women, the first 4 victims were 42 to 48.
Sure.
She was murdered on the road.
Creepy
She was murdered on the road. Or on the road.
Oh, right. Okay.
So this up here is a lodging house called the Two Frying Pans, and they reckon that this is where Jack the Ripper's first victim would have stayed. It's now a noodle shop.
And a hotel.
And a hotel.
How many
Would you?
stars?
Multiple witnesses claim to have seen her wandering around. This time an eyewitness saw her at around 5 o'clock in the morning, and she described, a very similar suspect. She said, I overheard a conversation. She did. It was perhaps one of the shortest conversations anyone's ever overheard. She heard the man say, "Will you?" And Annie said, "Yes." That's it. This was around 5 o'clock in the morning. A little over an hour later, around 6:30 in the morning, Annie's body would be discovered on Hanbury Road. Where is Hanbury Road? The road that we walked in from. She was murdered there, and this is where basically the similarities end and the differences start between Annie and Polly. Before that, I'm going to quickly show you a picture of what Annie Chapman looked like in her life. To emphasize on these women and their stories, because when you put them into boxes of either victim or a prostitute, it's not doing anyone any good. So many things to do. I have a long list of chores. So he goes to his shed to do his chore work, and that's where he discovers the body of Annie Chapman right next to his shed. And the number one difference is that when Polly was found, it was just a direct, simple, straightforward stab done murdered woman there. But with Annie, the wall next to which her body was found, 18 inches above the ground level, there were blood splatterings on the wall. Not just that, the doctor believed that whoever killed Annie is probably the same person who killed Polly. Number one. Number two, this was probably a right-handed person because of the way the cut was made. Both of them had the iconic Jack the Ripper cut going from left to right, indicating that it would have been done with a blade that was 6 to 8 inches long. The other important bit is that the doctor also believed that whoever did this murder was a highly skilled surgeon or a highly skilled tradesperson, like a butcher or a fishmonger, someone who knows how flesh and blood and bones work, basically. And why did the doctor come up with this theory? Coming back to the things found on Annie Chapman's body. So she has the similar wounds, to her face, indicating someone tried to knock her down. The iconic Jack the Ripper slit going left to right. Multiple wounds, stab wounds. This time though, she had a missing uterus as well. Not only was her uterus missing, some of her personal belongings, like her letters, her pills and her envelopes, were taken from her person and they were placed next to her body in almost a ritualistic fashion, in a very weird, eerie way. And after this particular case, after Annie Chapman especially, there was a certain level of discomfort that was arising. Because it's one thing to murder women and to leave them on the road, nobody cares about that. But murder women and to take their womb away, that is a sick statement to make.
Are these original photos?
Yeah.
So you're saying he had a bit of a type, you mean? No, in terms they look similar as well.
Would publish this in the newspapers.
Yeah.
He does look like David Seaman.
𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 was an American quack. A quack is basically an unqualified doctor. This man would get arrested on 7th of November on the charges of homosexuality. Again, homosexuality, hugely taboo, hugely illegal. You're not supposed to be happy in any shape or form. 𝒊𝒏𝒅 loves throwing parties. He loves it. He loves throwing parties. And every time we're at his place at one of his parties, he just likes to randomly pull out this old suitcase and show off his own private collection of uteruses.
No.
Multiple.
Why did he have them?
A lot of the police asked the same question. Uteruses, yes. I'm going to quickly read you what the letter says. It says, "Dear boss, I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet. I have laughed when they look so clever and talk about being on the right track. That joke about leather apron gave me real fits." He's talking about John Pfizer. He's like, "You guys thought I was John Pfizer? That made me laugh." He continues, "I am down on hose and I shan't quit ripping them till I do get buckled. Grand work the last job was. I gave the lady no time to squeal. How can they catch me now? I love my work and I want to start again. You will soon hear of me with my funny little games. I saved some of the proper red stuff, the blood. Red stuff in a ginger beer bottle over the last job to write with, but it went thick like glue and I can't use it. Red ink is fit enough. I hope, haha, underline." He underlines. He's laughing at his own joke. If there's no proof of him being a madman, let that be it. Next job I do, I shall clip the lady's ears off and send it back to the office just for jolly. Keep this letter back till I do a bit more work, then give it out straight away. My knife's so nice and sharp, I want to get to work right away if I do get a chance. Good luck, yours truly. And for the first time ever, we see the name Jack the Ripper.
So he called himself Jack the Ripper.
It's self-appointed.
Ooh.
He was ahead of his time with branding, wasn't he?
If you think the name is terrifying, right under the name he says, yours truly, Jack the Ripper. Don't mind me giving the trade name. It's his trade name. There's a sense of pride to it. There's a sense of arrogance attached to it.
Yeah.
This is terrifying.
Pub that Jack the Ripper possibly frequented. So this here is Aldgate Church, and this is where Jack the Ripper picked up his 4th victim on the 30th of September when he did the double murder. He came here because ladies of the night knew that they couldn't get arrested on holy ground, so they would hang out around churches to pick up their clients for the evening. So after he got caught in the middle of the act for his first victim, he wanted to complete the job, so he found a second victim outside this very church on the 30th of September 1888.
When you go away from here and when you tell the story of these women, let it be the story of these women and let it not be the story of the killer. He'll never be found. There's no point putting energy there.